What is going on, Guardians? Ember here with another one for you. Today we have an incredibly powerful Arc Hunter build. I don't even know how to put this into words. It's actually insane. the synergies that we have going on here, I don't know if there's another subclass right now that has these same synergies currently. So before we get into it, let's head down below this video, absolutely obliterate that like and subscribe button, stick around at the end for an original meme, and without further ado, let's get to it. Alright Guardians, let's break this build down. This is so incredibly powerful and one of the most fun builds that I have personally used recently, especially. I mean, in this dungeon, you'll see it clears so many waves of ads so fast. The orange bar knights, they stand no chance. The wizards, the light bearing wizards, no chance whatsoever. So it's really, really simple. You really only need a couple of things to make this work. First, the Liar's Handshake. These are gauntlets that increase your melee damage. So let's read the perk on this cross counter. Using your arc melee ability or being hit by a melee attack will allow you to follow up with an extremely powerful melee counter punch that will heal you. So you're getting health back from those melees. For me, I never really noticed it proccing, at least very often or reliably, while using my arc melee ability, since I did have my combination blow, up and going for pretty much the entire time I'm using it. So every now and then, yeah, I would get a melee that would deal 100,000 damage without having taken melee damage from another enemy first, but that's probably the best way to get your buff, is from taking a punch from another enemy, and you can definitely tank it with this because you're just going to hit them right back and it's going to heal you, so you really lose nothing here. And we're pairing it with some stuff in our subclass and this is what really makes it incredible. The gauntlets by themselves are not that strong, it's not that reliable to pick up damage from a melee from any enemy that's just running around, but when we're pairing it with some of this stuff in here, it makes it absolutely insane. So let's go over what we're running here. I did have Gathering Storm going on. That's really just to make sure I have some boss damage regardless. I'm running my Gambler's Dodge, very, very important because it recharges your melee ability when you dodge. Free melee ability when you dodge. We do have our Triple Jump, Combination Blow. So this is a quick strike that temporarily increases your melee damage, so we're stacking some melee damage there, when defeating a target, and it stacks 3 times. So you can keep stacking it up 3 times, and it'll keep dealing more and more and more damage. Defeating targets with this ability also fully refills your class ability energy and restores a small amount of health. So that's kind of where it gets crazy. Just from this melee alone and the dodge, you can already see dodge, get your melee ability, use your melee ability, get your dodge. It's an infinite loop. It's an infinite loop. We are running our Arc Bolt grenade. It really does not matter what grenade you're running. I think I threw one grenade the whole time. Then we have Lethal Current, our arc aspect here. After dodging, your next melee attack has increased lunge range, jolts the target, and creates a damaging aftershock. Damaging any jolted target with melee attacks also blind them. So you're going to hit a target, it's going to jolt them, and they're not going to be able to hit you back. Okay, so you're going to really save on some health there. It helps you to stay alive for a lot longer, and there's a lot of things going on in here that keep us alive and make it so we can chain these dodges and melees over and over and over again. The next aspect we're using is Flow State. Defeating a jolted target makes you amplified. While you are amplified, your dodge recharges more quickly and you are more resilient while dodging, and your reload speed is greatly increased. So you'll also see I barely actually shoot any of my weapons here, so the reload speed isn't really that helpful to me, but being more resilient while dodging, that's another one of those things that we're stacking on to make sure that we can actually live through tons and tons and tons of damage when we should not. We're going to be swarmed by enemies all around us that would usually, if you're running another subclass, it will totally annihilate you, that huge mob of enemies. But with this, we're going to be staying alive. So our fragments here, we do have Spark of Resistance. While surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. So another thing that's also going to add strength, just in case we run out of our dodge and our melee somehow. We do have Spark of Feedback. Taking melee damage briefly increases your outgoing melee damage and gives us 10 resilience. So that's giving us a little bit of bump to our survivability, but also stacking even more melee damage. Next, Spark of Recharge. While critically wounded, your melee and grenade energy recharges more quickly. So we're going to be just able to spam that a little bit more often. And then lastly, Spark of Instinct. While critically wounded, taking damage emits a burst of damaging arc energy that jolts targets. So from our lethal current, when we use a melee attack, it's going to jolt a target right after dodging. So we're going to dodge right into our combination blow, which is going to give us our dodge back. It's going to jolt that target, blind them, and it is going to jolt everything around them. Everything is going to get jolted here, and we can sit there and just punch the same target over and over and over again really quick. Of course, I'm running Risk Runner. You can have that out just in case there are, especially in that second room in the new dungeon, there's a lot of arc damage coming at you from all over the place. So just having Risk Runner does help with survivability. I would definitely recommend that. And then let's take a look at our mod screen here really quick. I will say, pretty important mods here. Powerful Attraction, that's going to keep you in armor charge. You're going to be able to stay charged up. And we're using a Font of Restoration here just because we don't really need the strength. We don't really need the resilience. We're kind of maxed out on that. And so being able to get a lot of recovery, you see I'm running 33 recovery here. That's going to give me 60 recovery. So even more survivability, set yourself up for that for sure. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out some of that gameplay. Alright, so I'm glad I have some footage here for you because I don't think I could actually put into words how powerful this build is. I just want to point out that I barely fire my actual weapons in this video here. I really only am running around using my melee, putting huge numbers on all these targets with big beefy health bars, clearing all the ads around them at once. Like right there, punch a knight and they become jolted and just keep punching him. He's just a lightning rod now. They're now dropping chain lightning to all the other ads around them.
You're never gonna catch me!
And then you're able to dodge back and forth. A lot of the times you can actually hit your combination blow, chain lightning to all the enemies around you, and immediately dodge. It will count as having enemies near you because they will not have technically died yet. Let's talk about some of the artifact mods that really help this build shine. Number one, Amped Up. While we are amplified, we're actually gaining some damage resistance as well. So another tier, just another layer of damage resistance in some form or another on this build. It's crazy. I mean, you can see for yourself here. There are enemies just all around me all the time. All I'm doing is punching. I'm not using the Risk Runner, Chain Lightning, or anything like that to stay alive. And they just are falling apart. They cannot handle this amount of Chain Lightning and meleeing around, dodging for extra damage resistance. All that stuff combines to make a truly special build here. And lastly, Shock and Awe. I said it in my Point Contact Cannon Brace video last week. Shock and Awe is going to take these arc builds to a level we never even thought possible. When you get any arc final blow, you are going to be able to make a giant arc explosion. So it's not only going to chain lightning, it's going to explode arc energy in all directions around them. So even if not all the enemies get the chain lightning directly applied to them, they're still going to be taking damage. The main target that you're hitting is going to be taking damage, assuming once you get that final blow. I mean, it's just not even funny. Look at this wizard here. It's already dead. It just spawned. It's already dead. It's one of those Hive Knight wizards. They're crazy, and they just don't stand a chance with this build. Take a moment to go back through some of these clips and just see how many orbs I generate while running around in melee. Look, I mean, you can see right now, there's 7 orbs, 8 orbs. And that's one of the most important ways that you can support your teammates. Tons and tons of orbs, that keeps them in armor charge, always. So their extra special abilities are up, or their regens, their kickstarts. It really just feeds into itself so nicely. And Guardians, that's going to have to be all for me for now. Let's go ahead and throw that meme up on the screen now. If you did enjoy this video, I would always appreciate a like, maybe a sub. Either way though, I do appreciate anyone for stopping by. And do let me know in the comment section down below if you've been enjoying Arc Hunter this season. How have you been enjoying it? Let me know what your favorite exotic to be using with an Arc Hunter is. And until next time, Guardians, be without form, swift as lightning.